वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। श्लोका नंबर 39 can repeat. एषा ते भिगिता सांख्ये
एषा ते भिगिता सांख्ये
बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु।
बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु।
बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ
बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ
कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि।
कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि।
This shloka we have seen the last verse. So Bhagavan Krishna he summarizes that what he had taught Arjuna started from the first 11th shloka onwards. In fact, that is the first shloka. Bhagavan Krishna started speaking. Gita Upadesha started from the 11th shloka of this chapter up to the 30th shloka. He gave Sankhya, Yoga, the Jnanam, the Jnanam, the knowledge with regard to the Atma Jnanam. He gave Because why he gave Atma Jnanam? Because that is the ultimate or the only solution for the problem of samsara which Arjuna was facing in the battlefield. Seeing that Arjuna is not recovered, from the troubles, the turmoils of this samsara, which can be seen from this expression, from his facial expression, from his acceptance of his Upadesha. Then Bhagavan Krishna presented arguments from various standpoints, from Dharmika standpoint, from Lokika standpoint, from different standpoints he gave. And finally, in this shloka, he says, so far I have taught you this Sankhya. Sankhya Buddhihi. Buddhihi is Jnanam. Sankhya Buddhihi, that is Sankhya, the knowledge, the Buddhihi. Buddhihi is this understanding. The understanding with regard to the Sankhya Vishaye, te maya abhigita, tubhyam abhigita. Abhigita, yesha te abhigita. Abhigita is ukta. Maya ukta, told by me so far. What Sankhya Vishaya? Sankhya is Paramartha Vastu Vishaye. Paramartha Vastu Vishaye Maya Ukta Abhigita up to here Itah Paryantam. Now, Yogi to Imam Shunu. With regard to yoga, you please listen. With regard to yoga, you listen. So, this may create a possible confusion that Sankhya yoga, that is Jnana yoga, have been taught so far. Now, this yoga here means Karma yoga. Karma yoga, I'm going to teach you. So, Sankhya yoga taught, Karma yoga going to be started. So, this line may create this Sankhya Jnana yoga is one sadhana, and Karma yoga is another sadhana for reaching what? For reaching the same goal, that is moksha. Jnana yoga and Karma yoga becomes now two separate sadhana, two separate independent sadhana. For what? For reaching moksha. Iti, a doubt can come in the mind of the listeners, that in the beginning itself we dismiss it. There are no two separate sadhanam. In fact, if sadhya is moksha, sadhanam is only jnana. If sadhya is moksha, if sadhya is freedom, then sadhanam is only jnanam. Jnanam eva sadhanam, and jnanam is moksha. Karma yoga cannot be the direct, the sakshat sadhanam for moksha. Why? Kritena karmana akritaha mokshaha nasti. We have seen many times the mantra, the Mundaka Upanishad. By doing, you cannot gain that which is complete, the total. Gaining the Purnatvam doesn't involve karma. If Purnatvam is there, it has to be your Swarupa. It has to be the Swarupa of Atma, which is you. How can the Swarupam can be gained? Swarupam cannot be gained because it is your nature. The Swarupam of water is chillness, the cold, it flows. These are the Swarupam of Atma. The Swarupam of Ushna Jalam, that is not in fact Swarupa. The nature of Ushna Jalam, the hot water is hot, it is hot, it has got temperature. That is not the Swarupam of the Jalam. Water is hot because it is heated, therefore it is hot. When you keep it aside for some time, it will become cold. It comes back to its Swarupam. That is a Swarupam. It's natural, intrinsic condition or the state. That is its avastha. So, to be with your natural state, avastha, no karma is required. No action is required. No karma yoga is required to be with, to be with, to be to be with your natural swarupa. No karma is required. When you slip from your swarupa, slipping is not really slipping. Slipping is not really slipping. It is the abhimanam. You superimpose. You cover up yourself with lot of abhimana, lot of the other identification. You cover up with yourself. Then your swarupa is as though covered up. It as though concealed. That conceal, that concealment is that concealing, that conceal, that has to be removed. For that only, but for removing, that, for removing, that is not a real cover. In fact, that is not the real cover. It is as though covering, because Atma cannot be covered up. Atma, nothing can cover up Atma. Atma cannot be covered up. Now that has to be removed. For the removal of that, do you need any karma? Do you need any action? Because the removal, it's not a real cover. If it is a real cover, then you have to remove by doing something, by doing action. It is not a real cover. It is as though a cover covering the Atma. This Anatma cover is there. The Anatma in the form of the Sharira Trayam or the Panchakosha. All these, the Sharira Trayam or Panchakosha, that has to be removed. That has to be removed. How do you remove it? Do you remove it physically? Or do you remove it by doing karma? Because they cannot really cover up Atma. They cannot really cover up Atma. It is as though a cover. When it is as though a cover and it has to be removed, can be removed only by jnana, not by karma. So karma cannot be a separate sadhanam, a means for gaining your already gained that nature, the swarupa. The swarupa is not, the swarupa is natural. It is not even gained. It is your swarupa. The gaining the already gained. That is what we say, praptasya praptihi. If the vishaya is praptasya praptihi, praptasya prapti vishaye, jnanam eva sadhanam, natu karma. When there is gaining involved, what gaining? Gaining the already gained, then what could be the means for that? Jnanam alone. Because it already gained. And I'm gaining it again. It means I don't know that I am that. For that, what is required? Jnanam is required. No karma is required. But here Bhagavan Krishna says, I taught you Sankhya Yoga, that is Jnana Yoga. Now you listen to karma. So this may create a confusion that Sankhya Yoga is one sadhana, Karma Yoga is another sadhana. No, it is not like that. Because having seen Arjuna is not convinced, or why not convinced? Because he is not yet ready, may not be ready for Jnanam. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna wanted to teach him Karma Yoga, because that will make the person a qualified person for the receipt of Jnanam. For Jnanam to take place, certain preparedness is required. To the unprepared, if you give Jnanam, the Jnanam, either it may be of no use to that person, or the Jnanam itself may be misappropriated, can be, in the sense misappropriated means the Jnanam can become counterproductive to the person if the person is not prepared. Only for the prepared person, this Jnanam will work. Only in the prepared sand alone, mud alone, we can sow the seed, it will sprout. If the sand is not prepared, then the seed will not sprout. Therefore, for preparation, this is a means. Yoga is a means. What yoga? Karma Yoga. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna says, I have given you so far Atma Jnanam, but now the Buddhi, what Buddhi? Yoga Buddhi. Sankhya Buddhi Maya Ukta Abhigita. Sankhya Buddhi and Sankhya Buddhi that Jnanam is the Sakshat Karanam. There is no doubt about that. Shoka Mohadi Samsara Hetu Dosha Nivritti Karanam. Sakshat Nivritti Karanam is Sankhya, that is Jnanam. But still, now I teach you yoga. Why yoga? That yoga will give you the preparedness. The karma yoga will give you the preparedness. Therefore, it is very clear. Karma yoga is a sadhanam for jnana yogyata praptihi, otherwise called sadhana chatushtaya praptihi. Then, when jnanopadesha, when it is given to the person, then the person understands and becomes a jnani. He gains moksha. So, therefore, yoge vishaye tu imam shrunu. You listen, shrunu. With regard to yoga vishaya, you please listen now. Yaya buddhya yuktaha partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Endowed with this buddhi, this understanding, what happens to you? You will snap, you will cut, you will destroy the karma bandha. Karma eva bandha, karma bandha tam prahasyasi. You will destroy the karma bandha. You will destroy the karma bandha. Karma which binds you, that you will destroy. How karma binds you? Not just an action binds a person. Karma being jada, how can it bind a person? Karma is a jada. Karma is jada. How can karma bind a person? When the person does karma, with what attitude he does karma? He does with the attitude of agam karta. That is the bandha. The bandha is, the bondage is the kartrutvam, agam karta. I am the doer. When you are the doer, the karma palam comes to you. You become a bhokta. So kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, it is attributed to Atma. And that Atma cannot have the status of being a karta, bhokta. How can Atma be a karta, bhokta? How can it have so many status? Kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, karyatritvam, iti, how can it have? That is not the swarupam of Atma. That is not the swarupam. It is attributed to Atma. It is superimposed at Atma. It is aropita, adhyaropita and Atma. So, karma bandham prahasyasi means by taking you to jnanam, this jnanam will release you from karma. I teach you karma yoga, doing which you gain jnanam, and that jnanam will destroy your karma. You will destroy the bondage created by karma. What is a bondage? This kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, which is created by karma. It will no more create. Even if you continue to do karma, it will not bind you because you have gained jnanam. What is a jnanam? Agam akarta. I am not the doer. I am not really the enjoyer. I am neither the doer nor the enjoyer. I am neither the doer nor the enjoyer. All these enjoyership, doership, it is superimposed on me. I am the doer, but doer is not me. I am the enjoyer, but enjoyer is not me. I am everything. When say I am everything, then the doership, the enjoyership, everything is contained in that, is swallowed by that jnana. Therefore, karma bandham, this jnanam, rahasyasi, it destroys the karma bandha. That is how the shloka has to be understood. Otherwise, it will create a wrong understanding and confusion. So, having given up the sakshat sadhanam, that is jnana sadhanam, which is the direct means of moksha, since Bhagavan felt, and also maybe for the sake of others, because everybody is not yet not ready to receive jnanam, and therefore, with the intention to give the preparedness for Atma Jnanam to take place, Bhagavan suggests here Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga is for now what? It is for gaining the preparedness. That's what we call Antakarana Shuddhi Atava Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. Means same. So Antakarana Shuddhi, that is, the mind becomes calm, composed, not overpowered by the raga dvesha. The raga, impelled by raga dvesha only we do karma, sometimes which are prohibited, papa karma also. So therefore, the Antakarana Shuddhi, the Antakarana, the mind has to be Shuddhikarana, it has to be clean. Cleaning means how do you do? Not physical cleaning. All the raga dveshas are the impurities. They are the mala. They are the impurities. They have to be washed away. They have to be washed away. How do you wash away? Wash away. For that, the means is only karma. Doing karma only it can be washed away, not without doing karma, not bypassing karma. So karma itself becomes a means for the Antakarana Shuddhi. Karma itself becomes a means for cleaning up of this raga dvesha. In fact, karma, the action is impelled by raga dvesha. The same karma can become the means for raga dvesha. That is a yoga. When impelled by raga dvesha, if you do karma, that is a karmi does. That is what a karmi is the one who does karma. It's a karmi, mere karmi. A karmi does. Whereas a karma yogi, he also does karma. He also does karma for what? Not impelled by raga dvesha, to counteract raga dvesha, to nullify, to neutralize raga dvesha, he does karma with the intention of gaining the chitta shuddhi, the preparedness for jnana prapti. That is the understanding. So therefore, karma yoga is not an alternative to jnana yoga. Therefore, there are no two paths, or there are no many paths or many means for moksha. In fact, for moksha, there is no path. For moksha, it is no path. If for moksha, you are free, you are already free. You don't have to make yourself free. You are already free. You have to see that I am free. For that, only jnanam is required. Seeing that I am free, that is my swarupa. For that, what karma is required? No karma is required. Therefore, karma yoga is not an alternate a sadhanam in place of jnana yoga. No, it is only a preparation for jnanam. So therefore, this must be very clearly understood. So therefore, to have the right vision, to have the right vision of the Shastram, to have the clear understanding about myself, all this, the wrong understanding has to go, the wrong understanding, and also the consequence of the karma, which all stands for this, which all stands for the mala, the impurity, that has to go. For that only karma yoga is suggested. Karma yoga, when you say, it destroys the bondage of karma. Karma yoga destroys the bondage of karma. It means it is not directly. By karma yoga, you get, by doing karma yoga, you get chitta shuddhi, and by upasana, karma yoga followed by upasana, or karma yoga together with upasana. Upasana will give you chitta naischalyan, the focusedness of the mind. So, karma to be done with the spirit of offering the karma to Ishvara, that is Ishvararpana buddhi. Whatever karma you do, that is a worship of Ishvara. You worship Ishvara by doing what you have to do, by doing karma which has to be done by you. Kartavyam karma. Whatever to be done, nobody can remain without doing karma. Even if you don't want, even if you don't like, you have to do it. There is no choice. But doing that in the spirit of the worship of the Lord, the Ishvara, that is called Ishvararpana buddhi. Then whatever comes as prasada from the Lord, that is prasada buddhi, accepting that as Ishvara prasada, because the karma need not have the expected result. Karma can give you 4 types of result. Any karma can give you 4 types of results. One is the karma for the karma, what you have done, for the karma input, the output could be either in matching with your input, the karma. The output, that is karma phalam, can be matching with the karma, the amount of effort, with the amount of effort you have put in. equivalent to that, the karma phalam would have come, may come. That is one possibility. Or the karma phalam may be very less compared to the karma, the effort you have put in, or the karma phala may be more than what you expected for the karma possible, or the result could be quite opposite. Therefore, any of the four is possible. You cannot determine the result of the karma, your karma. So karma phalam is not in your hand. What you can do, you can only do karma. Whatever comes as a result of your karma, accept as Ishvara Prasada. That buddhi, that attitude, that is called karma yoga. So karma yoga is required to cultivate this attitude, and this attitude itself is karma yoga. So karma yoga is a means to cultivate this attitude. Karma yoga itself is this attitude. This attitude is required, then only your raga dvesha can be taken care. Otherwise, this raga dvesha, propelled by raga dvesha, if you do karma, it will keep you busy in samsara. Therefore, karma yoga is the next topic, which Bhagavan is going to present. And we have seen the next shloka also. We can read. Neha Vikramana-shosti. Pratyavayo na vidyate.
Pratyavayo na vidyate.
Svalpamapyasya dharmasya.
Svalpamapyasya dharmasya.
Trayate mahato bhayat.
Trayate mahato bhayat.
Here in this shloka, Bhagavan Krishna, he glorifies the karma yoga. He glorifies the karma yoga. There is no abhikrama nashaha or pratyavaya. With regard to karma yoga, there is no abhikrama nashaha or pratyavaya. Pratyavaya is a dosha, it's a defect. Not doing what one is supposed to do. Omission of duty is called pratyavaya. Omission of duty brings in pratyavaya papam. Pratyavaya. Abhikrama is abhikrama nasha. Abhikrama means the beginning of an action. You have taken up an action, undertaking. It's called abhikramaha. Nashaha is destruction. So abhikrama nashaha is the failure in your undertaking, failure in your task, failure in karma yoga is not there. So there is no pratyavaya papam and there is no abhikrama nashaha. There is no failure. There is no failure with regard to karma yoga. With regard to karma, there may be failure, but with regard to karma yoga, it is not failure. Why it doesn't have failure? Because karma is done and offered to Ishvara. Then whatever comes as the result, whatever comes in the form of the result that you accept as Ishvara Prasada, it comes directly from Bhagavan. Therefore, there is a failure. In fact, there is only a gain. What gain? Chitta Shuddhi, Antakarna Shuddhi. So, with regard to material success or failure, with regard to the success or failure in the material world, that is only for the person. That is only for the person. This material success or failure are only for the person who is a karmi, who just merely does karma for gaining the limited ends. But you are a mumukshu. You are a jigyasu. For you, the antakarana shuddhi is a goal. Therefore, the material success or failure, it doesn't matter. Therefore, there is no pratyavaya, there is no abhikrama nashaha. Abhikrama nashaha iha karma yoge na asti, pratyavayaha api nasti. Because since chitta shuddhi is a goal, chitta shuddhi is a goal, therefore there cannot be any pratyavaya dosha or even there is no failure in your undertaking, in your effort. There is no failure at all. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate avato bhayat. Even a little Even a little observance of this will save you from the samsara. Even the smallest degree, this karma yoga is taken up by you. It will save you, it will protect you from Magataha samsara bhaya. It is protects you from the samsara, from the fear of samsara. It saves you from the fear of biggest fears of samsara, biggest fears of life. So it relieves you. It relieves you, it frees you from samsara by giving moksha. By giving moksha, by giving the preparedness. Therefore, trayate. Magataha bhayat trayate. Swalpamapi asya dharmasya. Even if you observe this yoga, this karma yoga, even a little to your capacity, you start at least practicing, slowly your attitude will change. The beginning is important. The beginning is important. Once you begin, then naturally it will take care. The beginning is important. The beginning requires a certain mind. If that mind is there, once you begin, then it will take you, then it will take care of the entire process. It will take you further doing the karma yoga, making you ready, prepared for jnana prapti. Therefore, swalpamapyasya yoga dharmasya is anushtitam trayate magataha samsara bhayat trayate iti. So if you have started doing this karma yoga, it means then you have already started thinking. Only a thinking person can initiate this karma yoga process. So it means even the little observance of karma, it means you have started moving towards moksha. That beginning is important. That inertia is overcome and a push is given. That is important. It will take you. Once it is given, then movement will be automatically there. It will take you, it will make you do karma yoga, and that will protect you from Magataha samsara bhaya, from the greatest fear of samsara iti. That is the meaning of the shloka. I think that also we have seen. The next shloka, which will read, important shloka. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi.
Vyavasayatmika buddhihi.
Ekeha kurunandana.
Ekeha kurunandana.
Bahushakahyanantascha.
Bahushakhyanantascha.
Utthayo vyavasayinam.
Buddhayo vyavasayinam.
Important. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. The buddhi should be a vyavasayatmika buddhihi. The well-determined, well-ascertained buddhi. Iha vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Iha eka vyavasayatmika buddhihi. The buddhi, which is eka means the buddhi doesn't take many forms. Many forms means many thoughts. That thought, that is a commitment. The commitment of the buddhi is when it is well ascertained, when it is determined, then that's called vyavasayatmika buddhi. When the commitment of the buddhi doesn't waver, that buddhi is called vyavasayatmika buddhi. So iha Arjuna, iha in this moksha, mokshe, iha is referring to the moksha, in this pursuit of moksha purushartha vishaye, this vyavasayatmika buddhi is important. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Opposite of vyavasayatmika is avyavasayatmika. That is, their buddhi is not well ascertained, it is wavering. That's called avyavasayatmika buddhi. That is, people who are committed to What pursuit? You are committed to the pursuit of samsara. You are committed to the pursuit of dharma, artha, kama. You are committed to the material pursuits. Material pursuits, how many sadhanams are there? So many sadhanam, and therefore so many means. So many sadhanams, the means are there to gain the respective sadhyam, the means. All the sadhyams are limited. All the sadhyams are limited. They fall within samsara and they have corresponding means. And they are many. Bahushaka. Bahushaka, Anantaha. It is Bahushaka, multiple branched, and Ananta, it is endless. So in the samsara, there are many sadhyam. Sadhyam is what you want to achieve, and there are sadhanams for it. So different people have different sadhyam, different goals, and therefore they take to different sadhanas because they are not committed to moksha. Therefore, their buddhi is committed to only the pursuit of samsara, and that also keeps on changing. It is wavering. It is keeps on changing. They are not contented with gaining only that particular sadhyam. After gaining that sadhyam, again the sadhyam changes. The sadhyam keeps on changing. Therefore, sadhanam keeps on changing. Many sadhyams are there. Therefore, many sadhanams are there. Therefore, how can they enjoy the vyavasayatmika buddhi? It is not possible. It is not possible for the people for the people who have different commitments, different pursuits, to have this vyavasayatmika buddhi. Therefore, avyavasayatmika buddhi. That there is no well ascertained understanding with regard to, there is no well ascertained understanding for the people. That is for the people who are after this dharma, artha, kama, purushartha. That is priority. They don't have well ascertained understanding. That is, people not committed to moksha, they will have many goals, many sadhyams, and therefore many sadhanas. Whereas the person committed to moksha, for moksha, what buddhi is required? Vyavasayatmika buddhi, the clear, well ascertained understanding, the commitment is required. So, understanding of the tattvam, the atma, and the means for gaining that, the preparedness, karma yoga. So, for jnanam, shastram is required. For jnanam, shastram is required. Guru upasadanam is required. For the jnanam to take place, the chitta shuddhi is required. Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti is required. That is possible through karma yoga. Therefore, very clear. Therefore, there is clarity. Therefore, there is unwavering understanding with regard to the goal, what has to be achieved. So those people have the vyavasayatmika buddhi. Their understanding is clear, well ascertained, and there is no wavering. Only for the people who have many ends to be achieved, and therefore many sadhanam, their buddhi is only avyavasayatmika. They don't have viveka. They don't have the understanding of the ultimate purpose or the goal of life. So for them only there are many goals, short-term goals and long-term goals. For short-term goals, various sadhanams are there, the means are there. Similarly, the same short-term goals become the sadhana for the long-term goals. There will be a continuous hunting for, there is a continuous hunting, and therefore the continuous this setting up of goals. Therefore, they have goals and they go after the goals, and the goal never stops. The moment they reach the goal also moves further. Therefore, it is a continuous hunting, continuous search. Thinking that will give purnatvam. That will not give purnatvam, that will not give freedom, that will not give moksha. When moksha is your goal, then you cannot have so many goals. When moksha is the goal, you cannot have many sadhyam, many goals you cannot have. Many goals you have, many sadhanams should be there. Then how can moksha be the goal? For moksha, if that is a goal, then what is a sadhana? Sadhana is jnanam. And for that preparation, what is required? Karma yoga is required. Therefore, that is very clear understanding. Therefore, there is very clear understanding of the people there is clear understanding the people who have the clear understanding, they are referred to by the word Vyavasayatmika. Vyavasayatmika, their buddhi is Vyavasayatmika, well ascertained, well determined. That is, that Vyavasayatmika shows that Purushartha Nishchayatmika buddhi. They are very clear about the Purushartha, what they want to achieve. About the means and the ends, there is clarity about the means and the end. And the end is Brahma. Brahma is the end. Atma is the end. And the means is knowledge. And the means is only knowledge. Knowledge alone can give moksha. So therefore, they see the connection between, they have the clarity to see the connection between the goal and the end. People who don't have that buddhi, they don't see the connection between the goal and the end. Therefore, they have many goals and many ends. That is what this shloka says. More on this shloka we will discuss. We will discuss in the next class. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Duvyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na Vidusvara Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. I have to stop here because another class will start. That is why I am stopping 5 minutes before. So I started late also today. Sorry.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी. हरि ओम गुरुजी.